Take number one. Hi guys, Jeff Kram, also known as the hardest working man in real estate, and the lovely Cassie Troop is with me again today. It's like the band's back together.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, we're talking about how to become a homeowner on a first-time homeowner, first-time buyer's budget. And it seems to be a hot topic these days, especially with the interest rates the way they are.
Yeah.
So always remember, if you have a question, drop it in the comments. If you want more of these type of videos, please, click the like button. We appreciate all the love we can get. So let's get started. House hacking. You ever heard of house hacking? No, nobody has. Pretty much, it's a strategy that some homeowners are using to, be able to afford a house. Like building an ADU, for example, is a good one. There's a lot of programs out there that allow an ADU to be built, from free plans at the city to easy, streamlined permit process. They're making it really simple these days. It's not free, but of course you can rent it out and extra income per month. That's the biggest house hacking tip that I have.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people also that have bought a home that even had maybe a different room, a larger room, maybe that they converted into a room they could rent out or something like that too. Maybe a different access point, just planning ahead for that extra income.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, absolutely. In our community too, we have a lot of doctors and nurses that are traveling, and so they need those spaces to rent out in our community.
That is a problem.
It is, yeah. So it actually makes some pretty good rental income.
Yeah. Second issue thing we got is, team up with friends and family. You can always find, roommates, per se, and, you combine your incomes, and it helps to get in the door. The biggest thing is just getting in the door.
Yeah.
The stepping stone process that I've talked about in the past. Can you elaborate on what that involves?
Well, again, this is the biggest hack that I think. If you can find a 2-unit property or something that's even like you mentioned, an ADU, and buy that together, you're going to have that property appreciate so much more. Obviously. And just like you said, that first home is not your last home. So you just can get into that home, start living there. Ideally, a lot of folks want to find that property where they can all live together or something, get that space. And thankfully, we have those properties that we can really expand on. We have a lot of space here in our community. So we have a lot of acreage and properties like that you can help them find. And that's a perfect thing. Consider buying with your family and finding those two different
Those properties are out there. You can even find them with an ADU already on them.
Yeah.
And there is value there.
There's also, I wanted to bring up, there is a down payment assistance program called California Housing Finance Authority, or CalHFA, that will actually help pay to convert to an ADU. It's called CalHFA ADU Grant. And what it does is it'll pay up to $25,000 as a grant to pay to convert for the cost of doing the conversion. So maybe you had to do plans, maybe you had to do some site work, things like that to do that extra work. So if you do buy a property and that's your master plan, you can even get that credited back to you.
Yeah, well, with the cost of housing and the housing shortage, let me say, the last spec I saw was 5 million behind at this point. 5 million houses and units behind being able to keep up with the supply and demand, which is part of the reason why housing costs so much as it does, because there's just lack of it.
Yeah.
Simple supply and demand.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, tap into your friends for help with funding, aka gift funds. Can you elaborate on gift funds?
Yeah, so gift
Those
funds,
are always fun.
Some people have access to that, some people don't, but it's a really wonderful thing if you do have access to that. Everyone has a different situation. Maybe it's a new couple getting married or something, and maybe that's what they want to ask for their wedding present. Maybe just down payment assistance, something like that.
Yeah, that was one of my blogs. Look at this last week was the down payment registry. where people can getting married. They can actually go on register, so people can actually put money towards their down payment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful thing that
That's
you can
one of
do.
the hacks.
So just kind of planning ahead, making that goal. And what I always say is just, putting that into your account. If it's family or friends, mom, dad, something like that, you want it to be, if it's a big amount of money, your relatives to be transferring that money. Let's talk first, talk to your lender before you make that transfer. Because I might want you to paper trail that a certain way. There's a form. I want it to be easy and not a hassle on you later, not a hassle on your family members. So just that you have the plan, that's enough, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, always talk to the experts first. Before you make any unilateral moves, talk to an expert. That expert. All right, number 4, looking for special programs and down payment assistance. Luckily, we have somebody in the room
My favorite.
that
This
is
my
a
favorite.
first-time home buyer down payment assistance expert
Yes.
and has the know-how to do all of this. So what kind of programs are out there right now that people can really utilize, or what are you seeing really utilized?
Well, there are so many wonderful programs, Jeff. And like I said, this is my favorite thing to help people with is down payment assistance. In fact, last month we just came out with a new report that showed in the nation that 67% of people are still renting nationwide because they don't think they can get a down payment.
That's crazy.
And actually, everyone can. There's a down payment assistance program really for every income group that there is, a profession, whatever you're looking for. They each have, some have no income qualification at all. So they each have maybe a credit score or something like that qualification, but I can help you, guide you through that on what we need to do. There is assistance for almost every situation. So let's just talk about it. I love looking for programs. There's some state programs. They change maybe sometimes often, but usually there's several that a person qualifies for, and we'll just go over what's best for them. And it's exciting. It's fun. It's fun to look for money. And let's say you already have a down payment. Okay, let's add an assistance loan, maybe pay for your closing costs, something like that. So there's so many programs out there that, for certain occupation, the hero occupations we say.
And the heroes are firefighters,
police, healthcare, teachers,
Healthcare,
and
yeah.
any emergency medical professionals. And that also includes any of the staff. So somebody who works in the administration for the firefighters or for teachers or healthcare, anything like that would also work as well. Okay, so yeah, so many programs, and if you don't fall into one of those categories, that's okay. There's a special program for anybody who works for the county of Mendocino, county of Lake, county of Humboldt. Yeah, county employees, such a wonderful program from the state too. So yeah, just give me a call, email me about that, text me about that, and I can go over what your different programs are for that. Sometimes there's programs where you may not even need a down payment. You can see I get really excited.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a lower interest rate. So sometimes it's coupled where you get both. You get a lower interest rate and you get down payment assistance. So you can just do so much with this. And I just want to spread the word in our community that we can just help so many people. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're here, spreading the word, spreading the gospel.
Yeah. Yeah, so many people.
That brings us to number 5. Expand your home search. A lot of people kind of forget about the outlying areas. It's an extra 5 or 10 minutes to work. Could save you a lot of money. Especially like if you're here in the Ukiah area where we live. It's, there's Redwood Valley, there's Willits, there's, there is outlying areas that sometimes are a pretty good deal.
Lake County.
Lake County?
Lake County is a fantastic deal.
No, there's some really bang for your buck in Lake County.
Oh man, beautiful homes.
Yeah. And Lake County's changed a lot over the last 10 years. It has a reputation, but I think it's preceded its reputation. So.
Oh yeah, you drive through town and Lakeport, it's adorable. Like the lake is beautiful. It's really nice, and it's almost the same drive as Willits. So
it kind of is.
Yeah, and I have a lot of, again, first-time home buyers that they'll shop around and they look at all their options and they remember that their first house is not their last house. So they'll end up buying maybe in a community that they want to get used to at first for a couple years. And then you live there 2 years, and when you sell that property, all of that income you made is non-taxable, right? So they just take that money for their bigger down payment on the next house, and that's how they have.
And that's how it
it's
works.
just cheaper and cheaper and cheaper mortgages.
Yep.
Every house you buy, the next one.
There's never, there's very few people that are have the luxury of buying one house and living in it for 50 years. It's unheard of these days because things change. You got kids grow up, kids, move out, life changes.
I think I heard the average is 7.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I think that's right. So, you can, this is all on my blog. I do it at jeffkram.com. And you can always get a hold of Cassie at, go ahead, give me your info.
Cassie Troop, 707-272-6000. You can call me or text me. You can go on norcalhomeloans.com and you can find my website. And we also have some down payment assistance programs that you can find there. It also does like credit monitoring, things like that. But call me or text me if you have any concerns that way too. I'm eager to help and have everything confidential too. Confidentiality is really important when you're talking about somebody's money and their finances. This is a small community, and so I just want to let everybody know that when they do reach out, even though Jeff and I work together and some of the other realtors in our community, everything we talk about is confidential. Just here to help.
We gotta keep people's stuff sacred. So I don't want my information getting out, so we don't want yours getting out. That's about it for this edition. You join me again next year? All right.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem at all. Let me know how I can help you. Jeff Kram, also known as the hardest working man in real estate, 707-489-2191, and all our contact information will be in the comments and section, so you can just reach out to us whenever you want. And remember my blog's at jeffkram.com. And thank you very much for paying attention if you're still here. And we appreciate you paying attention this long. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.